Starting my video.
Good morning, viewer. You're welcome to yet another of Lawyers Alert weekly discussion program. With you this morning is Gerald Oneje. I am the program officer, Women and Gender. Today we'll be looking at the topic, the challenges of reproductive health rights of women in the internally displaced people's camp. First and foremost, this morning we'll have to know the reason why this topic is essential, very important at this point in time. We all know that the issues of sexuality and reproduction has been in the air, and this is why we have chosen to air this very program this week. First and foremost, we will be looking at the definition of sexual and reproductive health rights. Sexual and reproductive health rights, we know that it is a conception of rights applied to sexuality and reproduction. According to World Health Organization, sexual and reproductive health rights, or hygiene as it may be, is the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual. This comprises the processes, function, and the system of an individual at all stages of life. That having been said, we'll look at the definition of an internally displaced person. Who is an internally displaced person? An internally displaced person is someone who is forced to flee his home or place of abode in search of a safe or secured place or an environment. Also, that having been said, we will look at some of the rights they were enjoying as human beings before they were moved out of their homes to such shelter that is no longer their home. First, we have the right to information, access to information. That is number one. You have access to sexual and reproductive services. You have the right as a human being to choose whether to get married or to have children. That is right number three. Another right is the right to privacy. Also, the right to comprehensive sexuality education. Then, the right to life and freedom from harm. We have chosen these very rights. I've chosen 5 of them due to time constraint on this discussion this morning. First of all, let us go back to the main topic of the day, the challenges of reproductive health rights of women in the internally displaced people's camp. Number one, we have said that at first they have the right to information, but because they have been moved out from their very home and taken to a different place, an entirely different location, this has restricted their rights. Their right to access to reproductive health services like pre, antenatal, and postnatal care for pregnant women, and also nursing mothers who will be under maternal and child health. All of these rights are now being denied them because they are no longer where they are able to access these services. Also, you have the limitation on reproductive health education, especially for young girls and adolescents, because they are moved out of this place. Oh yes, nobody is there to coordinate them, not even their families anymore. They're out there. There are no educations or no form of sexuality education for these women, and they are left out to sexual violation and exploitation. Also, look at the loss of their right to privacy, because most of these people, I know we have married people in the camps, and these people are now living under a makeshift tenement, and this will not allow them to have the privacy, the kind of privacy they would want to have as couple. Also, we'll look at the case of rape or sexual violence, like I mentioned, and exploitation. Most times, because they are already out and they are vulnerable, because they have challenges of so many things, of good life. They need money most of the times to be able to acquire what they need. They are giving out sex for money, not minding whether the sex is protected or not. Also, we'll look at the forced relocation now has deprived those women in the IDP camps the right to marriage. Of course, most girls who are there, they are young girls, adolescents. They have the right to either choose to marry or not. But right now, they are in the camps. Who knows, before they got into camp, they may have been betrothed to someone, or they have someone they were in relationship with, but because they are no longer within that vicinity, this right has been cut off. So these are the major challenges those women are facing. Also, I think that reproductive health rights, to go into it deeply, those women, they have the right now to legal rights and freedom relating to sexuality and reproduction. This way, unless you know your rights, you can never recognize them. You need to recognize those basic rights that you have as a couple to be able to make meaningful demands on sexual and reproductive health rights. At this point, if you are educated, you are educated on those rights, you will be able to make a decision, an intelligent decision for that matter, on where and how, on the number of children and the spacing and time you truly want to have. Be that as it may, let us look at the recommendations. Recommendation number 1, government and other service providers should increase access to sexual and reproductive services. There should be more intensive sexual and reproductive education in IDP camps for women, young girls, and adolescents. There should also be more privacy. They should make the place more private for people, especially couples. There should be a closer monitoring of activities and cases of sexual violations, so that such violations can be investigated and culprits, and the culprits bring under, for them to be brought, for those culprits to be punished. For those culprits to be punished. These are my recommendations for this morning discussion. I want to say that your questions, comments, and contributions are highly welcome. Thank you.